I really need to stop trying to pop fucking pimples on my nose bridge. Doesn't do me any favors. Hi! So, what I'm going to be talking about right now is the power of the word no. And, yeah, there's not really anything to add to that. I'm a very firm believer that no is a full sentence. And, yeah, it's one of those things that I've had to learn over time, and I think a lot of people should learn over time, is that when you say no, that's it. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to justify anything. No is no, and no is a full sentence. That's really it. Will people try to fight you back about it? Yes. Will people try to give you a hard time about it? Will people try to change your mind? Yes. And the biggest thing about no being a full sentence is that you have to stick to it. You can't bend on it. You can't backpedal on it. You can't say no, but, or no, or anything like that. Just no. N-O. 2 letters, 1 word, 1 syllable. No. And that goes for anybody. Guys, girls, kids, elders, animals. No means no. Obviously animals can't physically make the word no, but there are signs when they're telling you no. And yeah, no matter who, that, in my opinion, that is the main thing that should be respected. There's no argument. There's no debate, nothing about that. No is a term that should be respected. It's a boundary set. It's a very stern boundary set. And, when you say no to somebody and they try to backpedal it or change your mind on it or anything like that, that's disrespecting that boundary. And that's not something you need to tolerate. We live in a society that's very here or there when it comes to the word no. When it comes to femininity and stuff of the sort, it's very, no is a full sentence. Again, I agree with that. But I think that applies to everything. I think that applies to anything and everything. Are there times where people say no because of issues outside of themselves? Yes. Like, for example, especially in the wintertime, if I go into depression, I say no to a lot of things because I just don't want to, because I don't feel like it. But in cases like that, I do think that, especially if your friends are trying to get you up and out and stuff like that, that's different. That's a bit of a gray zone there. I think that could be acceptable because they're looking out for you. And a lot of times when you get in that mode and you're saying no to everything, it comes back to, on a level, no being a very negative connotation, which I don't fully agree with, and I don't fully disagree with. I do think no has its place, and I do think no has its power. And in almost every case, no means no, right? If you're setting boundaries, if you're, protecting your peace, if you're doing things of that sort, no is enough. And whoever can't respect that has no place in your circle. Whoever can't respect no has no place in your life around you, bothering with you, because, again, that tells you that they don't respect your boundaries, they don't respect your peace. And, if you are the type of person to say no and then explain it, fine. I'm not saying you should never explain yourself. I'm just saying, given the circumstance, if you're saying no, you don't have to explain it. Like, if you're saying no to, I don't know, maybe not a friend, but someone you don't like, or someone who's pissing you off, or, unfortunately, this is something that happens in the world for anyone who's trying to make sexual advances. If you say no, There's no rhyme or reason or circumstance that you should have to explain it. In those cases, no means no. If you got your friends, your family, people like that, and they ask you, oh, did you want to go here with me, or did you want to do this weekend? You say no. You obviously you can't explain why, right? It's kind of polite to. You're not saying no in the context of no, like fuck off. You're saying no because you either straight up can't or you don't want to. And in cases like that, again, do you have to explain yourself? No. Is it polite and empathetic to those loved ones if you do? Sure. But you don't have to. And that's kind of the takeaway of this whole video is if you feel the need to say no without explaining yourself, you have that right. You absolutely have that right. And, people will try to argue it. People will try to give you a hard time about it. And that's their problem. Like, straight up, that's their problem. If they can't handle no, then. But, yeah, that's all I really wanted to get on the topic of is no means no. No is a full sentence. That's all there really is to it. So, yeah, words and things. Bye.